Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is said to be a film that will offer many different revelations that will lead to saga-wide implications in this story by director J.J. Abrams. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. So, what I'm really loving about Episode 9 so far is how there are going to be a lot of these secrets that will be unveiled in the story between characters like Luke, Rey, Kylo, Palpatine, Snoke, Leia, the list goes on, and that this movie really is going to be a film that's going to have a lot of twists and turns and surprises coming our way in this movie. Now, what's really intriguing about Episode 9 is that these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the plans by J.J. Abrams, George Lucas, and a whole lot more, this is where things begin to get very exciting. Now, specifically, it's described that part of the rewrites of the film during the months of November and December of 2018 included J.J. and Chris, as well as George Lucas adding in new character elements to both Luke and Rey during one of their vital scenes in the second act of the film inside of the Prime Jedi Temple. It's described that part of the story involves a moment in which it lets the audience know that Luke knows exactly who or what Rey really is, and that Luke is desperately keeping the information to himself, for Rey to learn who she really is on her own. It's described that Luke holds a secret of Rey's identity, and that Luke's discovered who she really was once he entered the netherworld of the Force. Additionally, it's described that Luke's secret of Rey's identity not only has something to do with himself as a character and a connection to Rey, but also how Rey will hold a strong connection to one of the legacy characters in the film. How Luke's secret of Rey is established is described to be done through when Rey leaves the Prime Jedi Temple to face the new threat in Kylo Ren, where Luke speaks to Yoda, where Yoda's Force Ghost voice is described to talk to Luke, questioning if Luke told her who she really is, where Luke is described to deliver dialogue to Yoda's Force Ghost voice that she will need to learn on her own. The sequence is described to mirror the scene from Empire Strikes Back when Luke leaves Dagobah, and Obi-Wan Kenobi describes that that boy is our last hope. So let's go over a couple of parts about this. Now, this whole entire sequence takes place within the Prime Jedi Temple. Now, I don't know if you guys knew this, but this is not to get confused with the first Jedi Temple in The Last Jedi. This is a completely new and different temple that's going to be introduced in Episode 9, where the Prime Jedi was only teased in Episode 8. You guys may recall that the Prime Jedi mosaic was seen in Episode 8 on the floor of the first Jedi Temple. Well, now we're inside of the Prime Jedi Temple itself, where both Luke and Rey exchange dialogue, where it's going to be established between both Luke and the Force Ghost voice of Yoda that Luke contains this major secret of Rey's identity, and that he knows exactly who she really is and what she is. Now, that's the exciting part about this, is that this whole entire secret that Luke has of Rey's identity has to do with a connection between herself and himself, and one of the other legacy characters that Rey is going to interact with in Episode 9. Could this very well have something to do with Darth Sidious / Emperor Palpatine? It really does seem like it's going in that direction, because Luke can't bring himself to telling Rey exactly who she is and where she really comes from, and what she really is. So the whole entire thing is a matter of what she really is. A lot of people have been suggesting that maybe she's a clone, looking at the mirror cave in The Last Jedi, and that a piece of symbolism that was used was showing the many versions of Rey, which could very well mean that she's a clone. Very possible. We do know that on Jakku, there were a lot of laboratories that were being pretty much, supervised by Darth Sidious / Palpatine at the time before his death, and that the Jakku Observatory also played a major role in all of that. But the thing that really does interest me the most is how Yoda insists that Luke Skywalker would tell Rey the truth of who she really is and where she comes from, and however Luke tells Yoda's Force Ghost voice that it's best for her to learn on her own. Why would it be best for her to learn on her own? Now, this could very well have something to do with her having that dark side origin. Now, we do know that in Episode 9, from what we have been going over these past 6 months, give or take, that Rey does indeed establish that she does have some kind of dark side energy that's growing within her, which could very well point to the fact that she's somehow connected to Palpatine. Now, also note that if you guys go ahead and check out The Force Awakens, some of the moves that she uses against Kylo Ren are very similar to what Palpatine used against Mace Windu and crew, as as well as, of course, other characters in the Star Wars franchise, such as Yoda. Now, what I like about this is that this is really setting up something incredible. This is really gaining my knowledge, or gaining my, I guess you could say, curiosity in this movie of what's going to actually happen between both Luke, Yoda, and of course Rey, and what she's going to discover in the third act of episode 9. Now, what I like about this as well is that this is all taking place within a place that is very strong with the Force itself, the Prime Jedi Temple. Now, we're not quite sure exactly where this is based in, but this is where Luke's Force Ghost is said to have a vital scene between himself and Rey, and that this was a part of the rewrites between both Abrams, of course, Chris Terrio, and even George Lucas himself. So I do have faith that it's going to be a great reveal since George was involved. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night